Okay, so good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon class. Welcome to our math session this afternoon. So for this afternoon, let me present my screen first. So on our comment section, on our comment box, I already sent our Jamboard slides and presentations. Just click in so that you can get into our Jamboard activities later. Okay, so since we already have 1, 2, 3 students inside our stream and we are just expecting 4 students lang naman ngayong afternoon dahil di ko alam bakit pakunti kayo ng pakonti. Pero ano ba to? Patatagan ba? Pa matira matibay ba? Ayun, congratulations kay Biel, kay Mala, kay sino ba to? Si Kobe and Samuel para sa pagiging consistent nyo sa pagpasok natin sa online class. Congratulations. So, let we start. So, for our quarter 2 week 1, kasi nga it is just a continuation of our LC 2 last week dahil hindi nga natin siya natackle. So, we're gonna understand, describe, and interpret the graphs of polynomial functions. So, dito, matatakal natin kung paano ba natin maintindihan yung isang graph ng polynomial functions, paano natin siya mas ma-identify ng mas madali, paano natin siya ma-determine kahit in just one look, ay alam ko yan, pa-upward yung niyan, yung opening niyan, pa-downward, and so on and so forth. So, matatakal natin siya yon this afternoon. So, for our recap, let's have some review first on how we will know if the graph is a polynomial or non-polynomial. So, for our number 1, for the direction, put a check on the graphs of polynomial functions and X on the non-polynomial functions. So for our number 1 example, Angel Mala, do you think it is a polynomial functions or a non-polynomial function? Non-polynomial function. Angel? Just a review?
Ma'am,
Oh, guess. Hula lang. Sige, kung wala pang idea.
polynomial function, ma'am.
So, let's see. So, I will put check on this box. Kasi sabi mo, it is a polynomial function. How about number 2? Marco. Sige lang, guess lang. And we're gonna discuss it naman later. Mas maiintindihan nyo siya later.
At ma'am?
Polynomial or non-polynomial?
Polynomial.
Polynomial. Ayan, nagkakahulaan na tayo dito. How about number 3, Biel?
Polynomial po, ma'am.
Polynomial. Number 4, Angel.
Not polynomial, ma'am.
Not polynomial. Samuel.
Not polynomial.
Not polynomial. Okay. So, let's see and let's check if it is correct. For our slide number 3, so graphing polynomial functions, the graph of a polynomial function is always a smooth curve and it has no breaks or corners. Again, so the graph of polynomial functions is always a smooth curve. Pag sinabi natin siyang smooth curve, wala daw siyang any break, wala siyang kahit anong corners. So, let's see. On our example number 1, balik tayo dito sa review natin. Ulitin mo, Angel, it is a polynomial or a non-polynomial graph?
Not polynomial po, ma'am.
Yes,
Non-polynomial.
so it is a non-polynomial function kasi meron siyang endpoint or hindi siya smooth curve. How about number 2? Yes, correct. It is a polynomial function. It is a polynomial function. It is a polynomial function kasi meron siyang smooth curve. And this one is not a polynomial function. It is a linear kasi straight line siya. So, next. For our number 3 slide, since we discussed that graphing polynomial functions is having a smooth curve, no breaks, and corners. So, just to simplify the explanation, we discussed about the degree and the leading coefficient last week, right? Naaalala po ba? Ano nga yung degree, Biel, sa pagkakaalala mo, sa diniscuss natin nung nakaraan, what is the degree of the polynomial? Paano natin ma-identify yung degree ng polynomial?
Yung ano ma'am, highest exponent po ng
Yes,
leading
very
term.
good. So this is the highest exponent of in the equation. Next, for the leading coefficient, ito yung alin? Marco. Ano yung leading coefficient? Pass? Pass ba?
Ma'am, yung ano po, yung pinakamalaking ano po, yun nga, yung yung unang, anong pinakamalaki sa kanila, ma'am?
Yeah, parang medyo dalito lang ako sa ano mo, pero parang nakukuha ko naman yung gusto mong sabihin. Leading coefficient is the first term in the equation in standard form, which is also, siya rin yung, not all the time pala, hindi siya yung pinakamalaki or hindi siya yung pinaka highest degree sa isang equation. But we can conclude that, yes, in standard form, yes. But we can also conclude that if the equation, para ma-identify mo yung leading coefficient, it is the first term in the equation in standard form. So in our graphing polynomial functions, wait for a while. In this case, para ma-identify daw natin to, merong summary table na binigay at nilagay dito, such as paano mo daw ba malalaman kung ang opening ng is teka lang. Nag-feedback. Ayan. Kung ang opening ng coefficient ay kung ang opening ng graph is upward or downward or anything, kahit ano, para mas madali niyong ma-identify. Wait lang nalaglag yung phone ko eh. Ayan. So ayun, balik tayo. So if the degree is even, pag ang degree ng equation is even, such as 2, 4, 6, and so on, and the leading coefficient is positive, the behavior of the graph is opening in upward position. So, ang opening niya or ang pagbuka niya ay naka-open sa upward position or nasa taas. Next, if the degree is odd and then the leading coefficient is positive, yan, ang style, ang ano niya, ang itsura ng graph niya is from sa mababa going up. Yan. So this is the sample. If the degree is even and the leading coefficient is negative, opening niya is downward. If the degree is odd and then the coefficient is negative, it is from left to down right. Okay? So I'm gonna give you example. So for example, we have here 3x raised to 4 plus 2x plus 4x 2x squared natin to plus 9. Yan. Having that function, can you identify in what position of the graph it will be? Nagkakaroon pa naman tayo ng maraming samples, pero sige, tingnan natin kung naintindihan natin tong concept
Ma'am,
concept summary. Sige, sige. Sino yun? Sorry, hindi ko nakikita. Si Januel?
Ma'am, parehas po pataas, ma'am, sa positive side po.
Okay. So, it is, the degree is even. So, highest degree is even. So, na-touch niya tong even. Tsaka ito. Itong dalawa na to kasi pareha silang even. Next, ang leading coefficient niya ay positive. So, ibig sabihin, na-touch niya tong leading coefficient is equal to positive. Therefore, the opening of the graph is in upward position. Okay? So, as easy as that. Next, if it will be negative 3x, what would be the style or the sample of the graph? The first, the second, the third, or the fourth?
Second.
Second? Odd ba?
Third po. Yung
Third.
third po.
Yes,
Third pala.
very good. Third pala. Opo, tama. Third po kasi dahil ang degree niya is even and then the leading coefficient is negative. Got it? Nakuha yon? Nakuha po ba yon? So we can proceed on
Opo.
the next slide. Okay, good. Next. On this slide, we will determine the zeros of polynomials. So as easy as, all you need to do is just equate each term into 0 to get the zeros of the polynomial. So here, we have x. Ay, ano ba yung term na meron siya? We have x. What is the another term? We have x plus 3. What is the other term? We have x minus 2. So to get the value of 0, you need to equate all of that into 0. Okay? And then get the value of 0. I get the value of x. So here we have x equals 0. And then here we have x is equal to negative 3. Why? Transpose 3 to get the value of x, and we will have x is equal to negative 3, as well as in this case, we have here x is equal to 2. Got it? So the zeros here are 0, negative 3, and positive 2. Gets? Let's proceed with the next slide. Sige, open your mic na. Tatlo lang naman kayo dito sa loob. Pag tinanong ko kung got it, yes, okay, sagot lang po ng yes. Let's proceed with the next slide. Can we? Shall we?
Yes.
Okay, sure then. So for our example number 2 is we need to find all the rational zeros of x raised to 3 minus 9x plus 9 plus 2x raised to 4 minus 19x squared. So first, you need to transform it into standard form. Pag sinabi natin standard form, from highest exponent up to the numerical coefficient. Who wants to try to transform it into standard form? Sige, ano na lang, sabihin na lang, ako na magsusulat. Sino gusto pong sumagot? Nakalimutan na? Paano mag-standard form ng equation? Or hindi pa naman? Nahihiya lang sumagot? Okay, Biel. Standard form of this equation.
Ano po?
Ano
2x raised to 4
2x raised to 4
plus x cube
plus x cube
minus 19x squared po.
minus 19x squared
Minus 9x
minus 9x
plus 9.
plus 9. Meron po bang tututol sa sagot ni Biel? Meron po bang violent reaction? Wala. So, since wala naman and it is correct, very good, Biel. So, pag ganun lang sa pagta-transform ng standard form, from highest exponent up to lowest exponent, and then lastly is the numerical coefficient. Next, these the factors of the constant term. Ano ba yung constant term dito? The constant term is the numerical coefficient or the number 9. Ano ba yung possible factors niya? Possible factors of 9 is positive, negative 1, positive, negative 3, and then the positive, negative 9. May iba pa po bang factors ang 9? Meron pa po kayong naiisip or wala na?
Wala na po.
Wala na. Two numbers or any numbers na divisible by 9, yun yung tinutukoy nating factors. How about the factors of the leading coefficient? The factors of the leading coefficient is positive. Ano ba yung leading coefficient, by the way? The leading coefficient is the 2x raised to 4. So, the leading coefficient of this term is positive, negative 1, and then positive, negative 2. Meron pa po bang naiisip na factors ng 2?
Wala na po.
Wala na po. Okay, good. So, in this case, the possible values of P over Q is 1. Teka lang. Ayan. So, the possible values of P over Q is 1, positive 1 over 1. P over Q lang. Positive 1, and wala pa. Positive 1 over 2. What else? Positive, negative 3 over 1. Positive, negative 3 over 2. Positive, negative 9 over 1. And positive, negative 9 over 2. Okay? So, pag sinimplify yan, positive, negative, paano ba yung nakuha, ma'am? Ito yung P, ito yung Q. So, P over Q. P over Q, 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 and P over Q. So, leading coefficient over, constant term over the leading coefficient. So, we have here, simplify this term, magiging positive, negative 1 lang naman siya. Positive, negative 1. What else? Positive, negative 1/2. Yan na siya. What else? Positive, negative 3. Positive, negative 3/2. And positive, negative 9. And positive, negative 9 over 2. So that's it. That's the simplified values of P over Q. And then using the synthetic division to get the rational zeros. May tanong po ba dito sa step 1, 2, 3, and 4? And we will now proceed with step 5. May tanong po ba? Hello? Hello, may tanong po ba? Gandang buhay.
Wala po.
Okay, thank you. So in getting the rational zeros, the next step is to use the synthetic division. So in getting synthetic division, kung ano yung nag-zero, di ba na-discuss na natin ito nung nakaraan, kung ano yung nag-zero yung remainder, it is the root Ma'am, papopose po ba itong Teka lang, ma'am, papopose po ba itong lesson? Yes, Kobe, yes. Nawawala ka, no? Panoorin ko. Oh, nawawala ka nga. Nakikita ko nga. Nag-out ka. Okay. So, di na natin siya i-compute kasi alam nyo na yan at alam ko naalala nyo na yan kung paano mag-synthetic division. Subukan lang dito natin. Sa una, sinubukan niyang gamitin yung negative 1. So, in negative 1, we have here, ito yung standard form. Kinuha yung 2, kinuha yung 1, yung 19, yung 9, at yung 9. So, 2, 1, 19, 9, 9. Siyempre, kinuha rin, of course, yung symbol. So, paano nga ba ulit mag-synthetic division? Para lang ma-review tayo. So, 2, bring down 2. 2, drop. 2 times negative 1, negative 2. 1, 2 times negative 1, negative 2. Bakit 5 to? 1 and negative 1 is... Bakit 5 to? Mali to. Mali yung nasa ano nyo. Mali yung nasa... Ayusin natin. Mali yung nasa last nyo. Ayan. So, drop 2. 2 times negative 1, negative 2. 1 plus negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Negative 19 plus 1 is negative 18. Negative 18 and negative times negative 1 is positive 18. Negative 9 plus 18 is positive 9. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9 and the remainder or the root is 0. Therefore, it is a root. This negative 1 is root of this term. Naalala na yon? Pag nag-synthetic division kayo at yung last term is 0, meaning it is root of that factor is a root of that equation. Ma'am, paano po pag hindi nag-0? Of course, pag hindi nag-0, hindi siya root. Magtatry ka ng other zeros. Naalala na po ba yung synthetic division and the rational root theorem? The factor theorem na na-discuss natin last grading. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, good. So let's proceed with the next slide, such as the graphing of the polynomial, or this is the main topic in this learning competency 2. So in graphing this polynomial, ayan. So kasi ito na yung ano natin, ito na talaga yung topic tungkol doon sa learning activities na to or sa last na to in how to graph a polynomial. So first, of course, we have the given. The given is x raised to 5 minus 12x raised to 3 minus 16x squared. And then, the first step is to get the zeros. In getting the zeros, you can use factoring, you can use synthetic division, you can use any method na kung saan makakakuha kayo ng values ng 0. So, in this case, in this example, ayan, so we have here x raised to 5 minus x raised to 3 minus 16 squared. Ayan. So, to get the value of zeros, first, ang ginawa niya is to factor out the common monomial factor. What is the common monomial factor in x raised to 5, x raised to 3, and x raised to 2? The common monomial factor is x squared. Why? Kasi kaya mong i-divide yung x squared sa lahat ng terms. Yung x raised to 5 ba, madidivide mo ba dito? Hindi. Dito, kulang na rin siya. So, no. Therefore, the common monomial factor of this term is x squared. And then, ito na nga. After that, itong x squared, pag distributive property natin siya, x squared times x cubed is x raised to 5. X squared minus 12x is negative 12x cubed. X squared times negative 16 is negative 16x squared. Naka-slouch naman ako dito. Wait lang, ayusin natin yung cam. And then, next, is using synthetic division, we come up with x cubed x plus 2 squared and x minus 4 is equal to 0. So having this equation, this x squared x squared, ay dito na lang. Ay sige, okay lang. Squared and then x minus 4 equals 0. You need to get the zeros of all the terms. How was that? Nagle-left din si Mala. Okay, so in getting the values of the zeros, all you need to do again, katulad ng ginawa natin sa slide number 3, is just to equate all the equations in 0. So we have here x squared is equal to 0. And then the next term we have x plus 2 squared is equal to 0. And x minus 4 is equal to 0. Okay? So therefore, we can now simplify all the terms. So since it is a double root, parehas lang sila. Parehas. Pag sinabi natin double root, naka-equate na siya sa naka-power of 2 yung buong term. So ibig sabihin dalawang negative 2 lang yung sagot. Pag wala itong squared na to, x is equal to negative 2. This one, x is equal to positive 4. And this one, okay, as easy as x is equal to 0. So since it is in a squared form, we can name it as a double root. Ma'am, paano pag tatlo o the triple root? Paano pag apat po, ma'am? Quadruple root. And so on. So, since we are now done with step 1, our next step is to identify kung ano ba yung mga points na kailangan nating i-graph para masabi natin na nag-graph na natin yung isang polynomials. But in this term, we only have the x-intercepts. Ma'am, paano ko po malalaman kung alin po yung x-intercepts? So, for our x-intercepts, pangit, di ba? Ayan, for our x-intercepts, our x is 0, negative 2, and 4. And our y, now plot the y-intercept of the polynomial. If we don't have constant term here, the y-intercept is always 0 or written as 0, 0. Tandaan nyo yun. Pag sa isang polynomial, wala siyang constant term, ang y mo automatically is ang y mo automatically or the y-intercept is 0, 0. Ma'am, paano po pag meron? Meron ka rin another computation for that. Now, on this case, para makuha mo yung x-intercepts, your y-intercepts will be 0. So we have here, ang una nating 0 is 0, 0. So x natin 0, ang y natin 0. Next, ang x natin negative 2, ang y natin 0. Next, ang 4 natin is our x and then ang y natin 0. Ma'am, yan na po ba yung ipa-plot? Yes, kasama na yan sa ipa-plot pero hindi yan lang. Okay? So, paano po yun, ma'am? Ano pa po yung kailangan namin gawin? So, before that, bago tayo magpatuloy, can you identify now what kind of opening yung makukuha natin given this sample? What opening kaya sa ating concept summary? A, B, C, or D? Ano? Wala? Walang nakakaalala? Na-stack up na dito? Paano ba malalaman? Ano ba yung degree mo? Even or odd? Open your mic para tatlo lang naman tayo.
Add, ma'am, kasi po yung 5 add po.
Oh, add yung 5. Okay, so ang choices na lang natin is this and this. How about the first term ba? It is positive or negative? Positive or negative?
Positive po.
Positive. So, the opening is like in this samples or positions. But, hindi pa natin nalalaman yung iba nating ika-graph, kaya alamin muna natin. Paano natin malalaman? Ganito po. I-ano ko muna to I-up ko muna to. Ayan. Try natin mag-solve dito na sa ano na to. Sa site na to. Okay. Okay. So, since we have 0, 0, negative 2, 0, and 4, 0, let's have, ito yung isang step para malaman mo, ito na yung susunod na step para malaman mo na kung ano na yung mga numbers na kailangan mong i-graph. Sobrang importante nito, kaya makinig po kayong mabuti para madali nyo pong maintindihan. You will need to provide a table of values. Ayan. So, we have here the table of values. Sample lang to Pag sinabi natin table, syempre may boxes. Kaya gumawa ako ng box. Diba? Tsaka. Basta box yan. Ito na lang yung mas i-focus nyo kaysa doon sa sample sa last para hindi kayo mahirapan. Ayan. So, having the table of values, so meron tayong 0, 0. So, for example, we have here 0x and 0y. Siyempre, pag 0, nasa gitna siya. Pero it doesn't mean kung gaano kahaba naman yung table na gagawin nyo. Basta makapag-provide kayo ng points para may ma-graph kayo. Okay, next. We have here positive 4 yung x. So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And your y is also 0. Next, negative 2. We have here negative 1, negative 2, and your y is 0. Next, wala na pala. Tatlo lang pala yun. Since you have here 4, at least provide equating to 4 as well. Okay? So, since you have the value of x of y here, such as 0, 0, 0, ano kaya yung mga magiging value nitong mga to? Itong mga nawawala na to? Of course, you will answer that hindi 0 po yung magiging sagot dyan. Ma'am, paano po namin malalaman yung sagot dyan? You will need to substitute the value of x to this equation to get the value of y. Sample. O, sa pinakamadali tayo dito tayo sa 1. So, you have here x raised to 5. Ay, okay na itong hindi kita. you have your x raised to 5 minus 12x raised to 3 minus 16x squared. Okay? Kinopya ko lang po yung given. Para makuha mo yung y dito sa value na to, sa table of values mo, you need to substitute 1 sa lahat ng x. Okay? The f of x, remember? In substituting the value of x to all the given variables. So we have here 1 or 12 and then 1 raised to 3 minus 16 times 1 squared. O, simplify. What is the answer? What is the value?
Negative 27, ma'am.
Okay, very good. The answer is negative 27. Ma'am, how? 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, kahit gano'n pa siya karami, the answer is just 1. 1 minus 27 is negative 13. Ay, hindi. 1 minus 12 is negative 11. Negative 11 minus 16 is negative 27. So the answer here is negative 27. Okay, got it? And I'm gonna show you a very useful app in substituting numbers. So this is the Mathway. Kung meron ng familiar sa inyo, this is the mathway.com/algebra. Meron bang nakakaalam na dito or nakagamit na dito? Dito sa kanya, pwede kang magtanong. Tapos, sasagutin ka niya. Pag sinagot ka niya, may kasama ng solution. Siyempre, ikaw na lang, self-study ka na lang kung paano yun nakuha. So, right here, I asked him, or wala pala siyang identity kung babae siya o lalaki. So, I asked this site, what is the value of this equation if the value of x is negative 3. Try natin dito sa negative 3. So, the answer daw is negative 63. Ayan. So, tap to view the steps. Kaso, kailangan mong mag-sign in. So, dito ako nag-sign in. So, the answer is negative 63. So, para mabilis tayo, I will now write in negative 63. Okay, how about for if we're looking for the value of negative 4. Looking for the value of 4. If x is 4. Negative, positive 4 ba or negative 4? Negative 4, ayan. So the answer is negative 512. Wala pala tayong negative. Pwede na rin. So, negative 512. For negative 1, type mo lang. And then negative 1, negative 1, and then negative 1. We have here negative 5. So, for negative 1, we have negative 5. For positive 2, you can still compute it manually if you want. But this site is very helpful in your algebra classes. So we have here negative 1 to 8. Negative 1 to 8. For number 3, positive 3. For positive 3, You got negative 225. Negative 225. Okay. Got it? Yes or no? Pinadali ko lang competition para di tayo
Yes.
mag-Google ng mas mahabang oras doon kasi very easy lang naman. So since yes, if you got completed the table of values, you can now graph this equation. So how? So we'll have try natin mag-graph. Graphing table. Ayan. To 200. Yun na lang. So, try natin to. Let's try to graph this example. So, let's just assume it is 100, 200, and so on, ha? I-assume na lang natin kasi para hindi na tayo maghanap ng iba pang graph. Let's just maging assuming muna tayo ngayong mga oras na to. So, we need to graph 0, 0. So, where is 0, 0? So, this is our 0, 0. Okay? Next. 1 and negative 27. So, 1 and negative. Alam nyo naman paano na mag-graph, no? Hindi na tayo mag-ano dito, hindi na tayo mag-google ng mahabang time. So, bigyan na rin natin ng ng pahapyaw. So, this is the positive x, the negative x, the positive y, and then the negative y. So, next is positive 1 and 27. So, this is, for example, the positive 1. And this is, for example, our positive 27. So, this is our 0, 0. And this is our positive 1 and negative 27. Next, positive 2 and negative 128. For example, this is our 2 and this is our negative 128. Assuming lang ha, huwag nyo nang tignan to. Sige, huwag nyo na tong tignan. Baka malito pa kayo sa table of values eh. Huwag nyo na tong tignan. Malaki kasi masyado yung value. Nasa 128 na. Para lang hindi tayo malaki na yung graph na kailangan natin gamitin or hindi na tayo mag-count-count, mag-assume na lang tayo na nasa tamang values, nasa tamang point na tayo. So, for example, this is our positive 2, negative 1, 2, 8. Next, positive 3 and negative 2, 2, 5. Positive 3 and negative 2, 2, 5. Positive 3 and negative 2, 2, 5. Next, we have positive 4 and 0. Positive 4 and 0. So, assuming that this is the positive 4 and 0. Got it? Next. Nakuha po ba yun yung mga positive x natin? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Next, for our negatives, we have negative 1 and negative 5. Negative 1 and negative 5. Negative 1 and negative 5, assuming that this is the negative 5. So we have negative 1 and negative 5. Next, we have negative 2 and 0. Negative 2 and 0. So here. Okay? And the next, negative 3 and negative 63. Negative 3 and negative 63. Assuming that this is the 63. Sige, baba natin konti sa 27. Negative 3 and negative 63. Next, we have negative 4 and negative 5, 1, 2. Negative 4 and negative 5, 1, 2. For example, in this case, negative 4 and negative 5, 1, 2. So, ayan. So, pag pinlat natin yan, pakita ko sa inyo yung, yung tamang plotting. Wait lang. Yan, basta ganyan, 'di ba? Pangit lang yung pagkaka-graph natin. Pero pag in actual or in accurate graphing, magiging ganito yung itsura niya. Wait. Nakita ko lang sa inyo kung paano nyo mag-graph yung x and y. Wait lang, loading lang. Ito. The accurate graphing would be, wait lang loading lang. Tagal. So, this one, saan na ba yun? Sana. Walang. Graph na yun ng maayos eh. Ayaw magpakita. So, ito nga. Ayan, ito. Pa kasi na-open kanina, hindi ko na ready. Loading lang siya saglit. Ayan. So, this is the actual graphing of the given equation presented and answered a while ago. Present ko lang. Ayan. Nakikita ba? So, in this case, ganito yung magiging itsura ng graph niya. So, ito yung 0, 0 natin kanina. Ayan, nakuha natin yan. Yung positive to negative 128, nakuha natin yan. Yung 40 nakuha natin. Yung -1, -5 nakuha natin. Yung -3, -63 nakuha rin natin. Yung -2 and 0 nakuha natin. Ang hindi lang accurate na nakuha natin dito is yung wala dyan yung 1, -27 and yung itong 4.162.55. But, sige, try natin tong i-graph na yun yung nakuha natin. Kasi ibang strategy yung binigay dito sa last nyo, katulad nga ng binanggit ko. Mas complicated kasi tong having the infinity signs or the terms. Sa binigay ko sa inyo, gagawa lang kayo ng table of values ng x and y. Mas madali siya. Pero given this, kuhanin natin to. Tapos sketch natin yung mga hindi natin nakuha. Parehas lang naman yung lalabas dyan. Ayan. So dito, what I mean is, ang nakuha pa rin naman nating opening ng graph is the odd number and then the positive positive leading coefficients or this sample. Parehas lang rin naman. Ayan pa rin yung opening niya. Ayan. From left to right opening. This one. Ito yung tinutukoy ko. Ito, di ba? Kasi add siya and then positive leading coefficient. So the graph is odd and positive leading coefficient. So the graph would be like this, like that. Ayan. So in our example, sa mas madaling strategy na binigay ko sa inyo, nakuha natin to. Ayan, nakuha natin. Ito, ang pangit ng red kamukha ng line. Ayan, nakuha natin itong -3, -63, 40, 2, -128, 0, 0, -2, 0, but not the -1, 5. Ay, meron rin. Yes, -1, 5, but not this complicated points. Kasi nga, tinuro ko nga sa inyo yung mas madali. Now, we can substitute there is the 3 and 225, wala siya, no? 3 and 225. 3 and -225. 3 and, ayan, 3 and -225. So, the possible points will be here. And then, what else? The 4 and 0. 4 and 0. Ayan na, okay naman pala. Kahit sa 4 and 0 lang tayo mag-stop. Kasi sa 4 and 0 tayo nag-stop. Pero pwede rin naman pag nag-5 pa tayo, same pa rin graph pa rin naman ang makukuha natin. So, this is the point na hindi kasama dito sa given na nasa last nyo. So, the graph will also be like this. So, this is the ano nga ulit to? The 3, -225. Lagyan natin ng 3 and -225. So, as easy as that. Tapos, nag-stop lang tayo sa 4. Ayan, dito tayo nag-stop sa ginawa nating strategy. So, still, we came up with the same opening of the graphs. Got it? Nakuha po ba yon? Yes or no? So, Yes. Bigyan lang natin ng isang hint, isang mabilis pa na review paano nakuha natin tong mga points na to. Of course, una, pag meron kang given na ganito, na terms, all you need to do is just to factor it, to simplify it para makuha mo yung zeros. Next, pag nakuha mo na lahat ng zeros, nakuha mo na to, ito, gagawa ka ng table of values na merong x at merong y. Meron kang 0, 0, meron kang -2, 0, meron kang 4, 0. Ma'am, bakit po nga ulit naging 0 po itong y? Kasi walang constant term dito. Nag-end ka lang sa x squared. Wala kang constant term. Kaya naging 0 yung y mo. Pag meron namang 0, magpapakita ko sa inyo ng samples dyan. So, next, we have here, you need to substitute the value of x para makuha mo yung magiging y mo. Okay? So, for other examples na merong value yung may constant number. So, let's watch this example. First example lang naman yung papanoorin natin. Nakikita po ba?
Yes po, ma'am.
Parinig, pabip ako kung may sounds o wala. Meron, wala?
Wala po.
Wala. O sige, anyways, i-voice over ko na lang. So, this is the example para madali nyo lang rin mas maintindihan. So, let's learn and enjoy mathematics. The graph of polynomial functions. So, for our objectives, yan, nabanggit na rin naman ni Ma'am yan kanina. We will sketch, we will describe, and we will interpret. Okay, so in graphing, so this would be the steps. Get the real zeros. Make a table of values. Plot the points. And then to draw graph. Ayan. So we discussed that kanina, which is the end behavior of the graph. PE, pag PE, ang tatandaan nyo, opens upward o positive even. Pag negative even, ayan, like that. Positive odd, increasing graph. From negative infinity to positive infinity. Negative odd, decreasing. Positive infinity up to the negative infinity. Let us sketch the graph of the polynomial functions. So for our example number 1, we need to sketch the graph of y is equal to x, quantity of x plus 1 times x plus 3 times x minus 2. Let us replace the value of y to 0. Yeah, to get the value of x, we need to equate it by 0. It becomes negative 1. X is equal to negative 3. X is equal to positive 2. So, meron ka ng negative 1, negative 3. Okay? Because your y is equal to 0. Kaya naging 0 rin yung intercepts. Yan. So, getting the value of y, if your x is 0, we have 1 times 3 times negative 2. So, our y is negative 6. You got the value of y. So, your x-intercepts is negative 1, 0, negative 3, 0, negative 3, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, and 0, negative 1. So, this is the table of values. Ayusin natin. So, meron kang negative 1, 0, meron kang negative 3, 0, meron kang 2, 0, and lastly, your y-intercept is 0, negative 6. Ayan. So, complete the table of values lang. So, this is your 0. We have 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. If the x is negative 4, your y is, ayan. So, sinubstitute yung negative 4. Okay? So, your y will be equal to negative 18. So, you got the value of y is negative 18. Next. If your x is negative 2, to get the value of y, you need to substitute then again. Okay? So, you have negative 1 times 1 times negative 4. You will get positive 4. Next, if your x is 1, x plus 1, x times x plus 3 times x minus 2, getting the value of y, just substitute the value of 1 to x, and you will get y is equal to 8, negative 8. So you can already completed the table of values, so you can now graph these samples. So the third step is to plot the points. Yan. So yan yung negative 4 and negative 18, negative 3 and 0, okay, negative 2 and 4, okay. So in that line, negative 1 and 0, okay, negative 0, 0 and negative 6, okay, 1 and 8, okay, and then the 2 and 0. Ayan. So you already plotted the table of values. So next is to draw, lastly, is to draw the graph. The sign of the leading term is positive 3 and it is odd. So therefore, the behavior will be like this. Yes, exactly. So therefore, we came up with the correct end of behavior. So the turning point is at most 2. Got it? Nakuha yun? Yes or no?
Yes po.
Okay, I will share the link later. I will share the link on our chat box so you can watch it on your home after our session. So this is the link. Pwede nyo panoorin mamaya. And then next is our lesson for quarter 2, week 2. So we still have time pa naman. Marami pa. So in this in this lesson, we will solve problems involving polynomial functions. So let us review first. Ayan, mag-review muna tayo. Given the direction of by inspection only or habang tinitignan mo lang to, determine the number of real roots of polynomial equations, root of multiplicity n are counted n times. Write your answer on the separate sheet of paper. What would be the roots of this sample number 1? So the root is just how many x or how many zeros were in the equation. Gaano ba karaming x yung makikita mo dyan? Gaano ba karaming zero? So for our example number 1, so meron tong exponent na 1 dito. All you need to do is just to add the exponents of the terms. Kasi since naka-multiplication siya, in multiplying exponential numbers, all you need to do is just to add the exponents. So we have here 1, 2, and 3. So the number of roots or real roots number here is 6. Ganun lang. Kung gaano kadami yung exponent, ibig sabihin, ganun din kadami yung roots na meron sa isang equation. So here we have 3. How about in number 3? How many kaya? Ilang roots kaya ang meron? You're raising your hand, right? Hello? Sorry, wala po ako naririnig.
Ma'am,
Hello?
2 lang po, ma'am.
Where?
Yung sa number 3 po.
Number 3. Are you sure? Ito lang kaya? If you simplify this term, Mala, we have here x cubed minus 8.
Ma'am, 6, ma'am, 6.
6? 6 kaya? X cubed plus 9. Hindi ko sure. Ikaw, anong final answer mo? Pag sinimplify mo yan, x cubed times x cubed. X6. Oh, yes, right. So, you got here 6. So, meron kang 6 na x. 6 na value ng x dito sa given equation in number 3. How about in number 4? Biel, how many values of x kaya yung makukuha mo sa number 4?
4 po, mama.
4. Okay, good. Next, on number 5. Sino pa ba nandyan? Marco.
9 po, ma'am.
4, yes, 9. 9 roots or 9 real roots or value of x are there by just inspecting the polynomials. So as easy as that. Pag gaano kadaming x ba ang meron sa loob, gaano karaming root ba ang meron dito sa equation na to? Kung gaano yung degrees niya, highest degrees niya, yun yung dami ng x na meron siya. So in this example, let's try to answer this table. Given that example number 1, x plus 1 raised to 2 multiplied by x minus 5 is equal to 0. So what is the degree? The degree is in 3. Kasi meron ring 1 dito. Hindi mo siya kailangan i-multiply kasi sa pagmamultiply ng exponent, ang ginagawa lang sa kanya ay ina-add. So what are the real roots? Ano ang real roots niya? So we have here x, ano ba yung real roots? Ito na yung value ng zeros. Ito na yung value ng x. So magiging x is equal to negative 1 kasi katulad ng ginawa natin kanina. Equate mo lang siya by 0. X plus 1 is equal to 0. Magkakaroon ka ng x is equal to negative 1. O since naka-squared siya, times 2. Or you have negative 1 in 2 times. And then the other value in 5, we have here x minus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 5. Got it? And the real roots is same as with the degree equals to 3. How about example number 2? Biel, what is the degree here? Biel? Biel? Hi, Biel. What
Hello
is the
po.
degree here?
Ano ma'am? Isa po?
Degree, yes. Very good. 1. What is the real roots, Biel?
8 po.
8. Good. What is the number, how many numbers of the real roots are there?
Isa lang po.
Good. Very good. Next, on our example number 3, we'll need to simplify this first para makuha natin yung degrees, real roots of an equations, and then the number of roots. So, tingnan natin kung may vacant dito. Wala. Okay. So, let's try. So, first, kunin muna natin to, yung value nito. We have here, hindi. Pwede rin palang hindi. Teka, isipin ko muna kung paano. No need na pala. No need. So, the number of degrees would be x raised to 3. So the numbers of degrees would be 3. The real roots of the equation is positive 3, negative 1, and positive 1. Got it? In-equate ko lang sa 0 para mabilis. And then the number of real roots is also 3. Kuha po yun? Yes or no? Oh, okay. How about in this
Yes.
one? The degree is 5. Dito kailangan mo na sigurong simplify. So, you need to distribute each terms. Pero pwede rin naman kasi, pero pwede rin hindi. Ito na lang, kuhanin na lang natin to kasi hindi siya nakasimplify. We need to factor it out. So, para ma-factor natin siya, yung c squared, para ma-factor natin yung c squared, two numbers na pag multiply mo 4, pag inad mo, negative 4. Give me the two numbers. Pag multiply mo, positive 4. Pag inad mo, negative 4. What is that? Negative 2. Okay. Negative 2. So, para ma-simplify yan, pag finactor natin to, tingnan natin, c times c squared, c times negative 2 is negative 2c, negative 2c, and positive 4. Okay. So, this is the factor of that term. Therefore, ang number of degree mo would be, number of degree mo here is 3. Highest degree. Oo, tama. Hindi pala. Ano pala? 3. Pag simplified 3. 3 ba? Or 5? 5 pala kasi meron pa ditong 2. Highest degree is 5. And then the roots is negative 2. Negative 2 times 2, dalawang beses. Ay, positive 2. Nalilito na ako. Positive 2. Bakit positive 2, ma'am? Equate mo to sa 0, di ba? C minus 2 is equal to 0, magiging positive 2. 2 times din siya. Kasi dalawa, parehas lang sila. And then the other one is positive 5 na naka 3 times. Naka 3. Naka 3 beses. So, naka 3 beses tong 5 and then yung 2 naka 2 times. Got it? Nakuha yun? Yes po or hindi? And then the real number
Yes.
of is 5. Okay?
Pero di ma'am, nagpa-plot ma'am kahit gaano kadami yung basta ma'am, naulit, isang beses nang gagamitin yun sa plotting ma'am.
Tama.
Sige po.
Opo.
Tsaka
Tama
ma'am
po. Kasi
sa pagpa-plot
rin naman yun.
sa pagpa-plot ma'am, ilan pong yung paano po na-determine kung gaano kadami yung
Pag na sige. Nagets ko na yung tanong mo na sa kanina sa graphing sa LC2 natin. Para malaman mo kung gaano kadami, di ba nag-0 ka? Tapos, una mong, di ba asa pa yung table of values natin? Ayan. Di ba nag-0 ka dito? Tapos, ang huling given mo na nakuhang 0, pwede ka nang mag-end up dito sa pinaka-highest. And then, after that, iparehes mo siya on the other side. Equal mo na siya on the other side para makabuo ka ng tamang graph sa kanya. Pero pwede rin naman na hindi na ikaw pwedeng hanggang dito lang, hanggang negative 2 lang. Negative 2 lang and 4. Pwede rin yun. Mabubuo mo pa rin naman yan. Pero mas makikita mo kasi na tama yung graph mo pag kinuha mo siya ng equal both sides. Pero hindi naman importante na na perfect yung graph mo. Basta ang importante, tama yung opening ng magiging graph mo. Kasi tama yung pagkaka-plot mo ng mga points. Kuha mo yun?
Gets ma'am, gets ma'am.
Okay, good. So, proceed tayo doon sa kanina. Ayan, dito. Ayan. So, ano ba sinasabi ko dito? Nakalimutan ko tuloy. Yung nag-stop tayo kay Mala. Ma'am, okay lang po kasi parehas lang naman siya, isang beses lang naman po siya ipaplat. Yes. Kasi pag pinlat mo naman yan, magiging magkapatong lang yun. Kaya pwedeng isang beses na lang natin siya sinusulat. So, in this case naman, you need to factor it out also as well. So, two numbers na pag minultiply mo ay 14, pag inad mo ay 5. Ano yun? Help me naman. Tulungan niyo naman ako mag-isip.
7, 2.
7 and 2. Oh, sige. 7 and 2. What is the sign?
Positive.
Positive 7 and what?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Okay, perfect. Two numbers, pag minultiply mo, magiging negative 14. Pag inab mo, positive 5. So, this is the factor of this term. So, how many degree do we have? 2. And then, the real roots is 7 and negative 7 and positive 2. And then, the real numbers is also 2. Okay? Nakuha po ba yun? In this case, in number 6 case, ganun lang din. Negative 5, highest degree. And then, real roots of equation, you have 4 and 3. Okay. 4. Kasi equate mo na, pwede mo na itong equate by 0 eh. X is equal to, yes, 4 and 3. And then the number of real roots is 5. Question. Before we proceed with our 12 slides. Ang hirap pala pag dalawang lesson sa isang araw. Nakaka-bomba. Number 6, may tanong po ba doon? Or merong question? Or merong hindi,
Wala po.
merong mali? Okay. Next. On this case, let us study solving problems on polynomial functions. By long division, consider this. Para sa pag-solve ng problem ng polynomials, pwedeng gamitin yung method 1, which is the long division. Method 2 is the synthetic division. Method 3 is by the remainder theorem. The factor theorem, pwedeng gamitin yan. And for our example ng pagsasolve ng problem with polynomial functions, let p of x is equal to x raised to 4 minus 3x raised to 3 minus 2x plus 5, and then find the remainder if it is divided by x plus 2. So method A, ang unang ginamit dito is the remainder theorem. In the remainder theorem, you will just get the value of x, which is the negative 2, and then you need to substitute on the equation. So, P of 2 is equal to 49. Kasi pag sinubstitute yan naman yun. Paulit-ulit na tayo dyan sa substitution. So, ano na tayo dito? Jump na tayo dito sa sagot na P of negative 2 is equal to 49. So, by factor theorem, using synthetic division, you have here 1, negative 3, ito yan, 1, negative 3, 0 yung x raised to 2, yung x is negative 2, and then yung constant is 5. So, drop, add, times, drop, times, add, and then times, so you have 49. So, you come up with the same remainder, which is the 49. So, for our example number 2, meron pa ba? Ayan, meron pa. So, for our example number 2, determine whether that x plus 2 is a factor of p of x without actual dividing, nang wala daw dinidivide, which is the p of x is equal to 3x raised to 4 plus 5x raised to 3 minus x squared plus x minus 2. So, by substitution, you will get 0. Since p is p of negative 2 is equals to 0, therefore, x plus 2 is a factor of p of x. Factor daw nito, ite, ditis, ditemba, this one. Question for this sample problems of polynomial functions. May tanong po ba? Siyempre. Siyempre wala. May tanong po ba? May tanong po ba? Hello? May tanong po ba dito? Hello? Anong wala? Galit ka ba? Galit ka ba?
Hindi po, ma'am.
Anong wala?
Sabi ko, wala po.
Okay. So, for our slide number 16,
Ma'am.
yes, Biel. Go ahead.
Mala. Ma'am, ano pa, ma'am?
Mala.
Pwede mapaaga ko, ma'am? Ng leave?
Why?
Isang ba kami, ma'am? Isang ba kami, ma'am?
Malapit na to. 2 slides na lang, 16
Sige,
of 18.
sige, ma'am. Sige, ma'am. Sige, ma'am. Sige, ma'am.
Ano na lang. Okay. 16 of 18 na tayo. Using the division and find out the remainder. Okay, long division. Who wants to try? Long division, sagutan mo na to, Mala. Number 1, tas ano ka na. Check out ka na. Go na, go na. Long division lang. Nakalimutan mo na ba to? Naalala nyo pa ba to? Long division? Or hindi na? Go, Mala. Yan. Share nyo siya. Para makalaya na siya. Okay. Tingnan nga natin. Kung kaya pang mag-divide ni Mala. Okay. X. Di na alam. Okay. Okay. Negative 8x. Dapat kasi di siya sa tapat ng x squared, di ba? Dito siya sa tapat ng 5x, Mala. Kalimutan mo na. Di ba? Di mo siya dito itatapat sa una. Dito mo na siya tatapat.
Ma'am, nakalimutan.
Sige na. Go na. Kunwari na lang, nandun siya. Go na. Tapos na ba? Remainder.
Yan, ma'am. Tama, ma'am.
Remainder 12. Yes, tama.
Bye-bye, Biel. I love you, Biel. I love you, Marco. Bye-bye. I shall go on.
Sige na, okay. Good job.
Sige, ma'am. Thank you po.
Bye. Okay, so this is over. Wala na siya, nag-left na niya. Hindi niya na na-read. Over x. Pwede na palang ganyan yung pagsulat or other is x minus 3 plus 12 over x plus 3. Okay, sino gusto mag-try ng number 2? Diyan na lang. Try nyo na lang sa notebook niya. Okay, thank you. Try nyo sa notebook niya para ma-practice kayo. And ito lang naman yung pinasagutan ni ma'am on your week 2 module. So, this is very easy lang naman. Bibigyan ko na kayo ng sagot sa letter A, kung saan siya mapupunta. Bibigyan ko kayo ng technique. Ayan. So, kailangan nyo lang siyang distributive property of multiplication. Okay. So, kung mapapansin nyo, ito ay parehas lang naman. Right? So, sige. Para mas madali. Distributive property of multiplication, ito ay magiging x squared magiging 2x multiply 3 times x is equal to 3x. 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Okay? Got it? Nako yun, minultiply lang ni ma'am. X squared, x times 2, 2x, x times 3 times x, 3x, 3 times 2, 6. Then simplify. X squared plus 5x plus 6. And then multiply it by x. Ano natin ilagay? X plus 3. Ganito na ba? Wala pa? Distribute. X cube x cube 5x squared but wala plus 5x squared plus 6x and plus 3x squared. 3 times 5x is 15x ba? 3 times 6 is 20, 18. 18 ba? 3 times 6, hindi ko alam. Three times 6 is 18. Ba't wala ko nakikitang sagot? X cube. Pagsamahin to, 8x. Pagsamahin to, ay x squared. 21x. And then, plus 18. May ganito ba? Ay, 21x. Bakit wala? I don't know. Help me. I'm drained. Hello? Biel, at saka Marco, kasapin nyo nga ako. Ulitin natin. Kasi ito pwede naman to ipares kasi sila x plus 3 squared na lang yan. X plus 3 squared. And then, mag-open mic na kayo, magkwentuhan na lang tayo dito, sagutan natin to. And then x plus 2. Sagot. Anong sagot? Tanungin natin si Matway. Tignan natin. Ay, final answer na nga pala lalabas dito. Tanungin natin si Google. Teka, ikat na nga natin to kasi ito na pala yung sagot para doon. Okay. Para sa last nyo. So, stop recording ko na muna. Goodbye. Kunwari, goodbye. Charot. Bye for this recording. For the questions later on and for the answer on the last after this recording.